To welcome me, my roommate served up human flesh, but instead of refusing, I grabbed a knife and savored the heart. I enrolled in a school for the elite, only to find my roommates gnawing on a corpse on my first day, inviting me to join in. I was terrified at first, and their excitement quickly turned into suspicion. I realized that if I didn't play along, I'd be the next one lying on the floor. I forced a smile, smeared some blood on my lips, and fought the urge to vomit from the stench. Just then, a student named Zhang Tao walked in, introduced himself, and shouted in shock. The roommates turned in unison, staring at him until he turned and bolted. Li Hao stood up and said, "Fresh meat, boys. Let's hunt him down. It makes the meat tender if we chase him first." The others immediately took off after him. I stayed back to assess the situation. They didn't attack me, so they must see me as one of them. I let out a sigh of relief, trying to stay calm. Moments later, I heard Zhang Tao scream, and my heart sank back into my throat. Soon, they dragged Zhang Tao's body back into the dorm. Li Hao grinned at me and said, "Buddy, to celebrate your first day, this heart is your welcome gift." The other roommates looked at me with the same eerie, welcoming smiles. I knew I couldn't show any fear or hesitation, but if I actually ate it, I'd be revealing my true self to them. Seeing me hesitate, their friendly expressions began to turn impatient. Suddenly, a loud thud drew everyone's attention as a bag of tomato meat sauce hit the floor. Li Hao told everyone to head downstairs to see what happened. As we arrived, we ran into students from the floor above. Li Hao sneered, "Hey, monkey trying to kill us? Can't even handle your own meat? Are you that weak? If you can't manage it, it belongs to us now." The guy called Monkey retorted, "Have some shame, Hao. We worked hard for this meat. Why should I give it to you?" The two groups immediately started bickering. It was absurd. These monsters were arguing over food like children, almost making me forget what they were. I blurted out a suggestion to split it, and everyone turned to stare at me. I could have slapped myself. Standing out like that in front of everyone was basically a death wish. But instead of attacking, they all burst into loud, mocking laughter. "How? Your new guy has ideas. Split it? What is this, a watermelon?" Li Hao flushed and retorted, "You know nothing. My brother has vision." Then he turned and called us back to the dorm. I thought he'd back down, but they grabbed their tools and rushed out again as soon as they got back. Before leaving, Li Hao told me, "Yan, you're new here and don't know the ropes. We wanted to show you a good time." "That damn monkey ruined it. Now we're busy. Zhang Tao, eat this first. There's more later." He hurried off to join the monkey hunt. After they left, I finally calmed my racing heart. But as I calmed down, the stench in the room grew unbearable. Just as I headed to the bathroom to retch, I found a note by my bed. "If you're human, be grateful you found this. Memorize these survival rules. Mimic those around you. Never be alone or in a group of more than 3. Don't waste cafeteria food, but don't overeat. Look for clues from other survivors. Stay silent at 2 a.m. Don't try to escape. Survive your junior year to live." Reading the last rule, I felt despair, but also a glimmer of hope. My only chance of survival here is to blend in with them. I burned the rules into my memory, tore up the note, and flushed it down the toilet. Then I went to Zhang Tao, cut off some meat, and flushed it down the toilet too. I smeared some red liquid on my face and body to fake that I had already eaten. Just then, my roommates returned, laughing and chatting in the hallway. Unlike my previous panicked state, knowing the rules made me feel much more confident. But when they entered, their expressions shifted, and Li Hao hurled his axe at me. I dodged the axe by a hair's breadth, and he said, "Bro, why are you still eating that? We just grabbed some fresh stuff from upstairs." Hearing this, I breathed a sigh of relief and waved him off. "How? I'm already stuffed from when you guys were out. I'll save this fresh stuff for a midnight snack." Li Hao didn't push it and tossed the loot into a box in the corner. They went back to laughing and complaining about the monkeys upstairs. I couldn't laugh. If I clashed with them and lost a limb, they could just stitch it back on. I'm a real human. Where would I get stitched up? I shook my head helplessly. Suddenly, the broadcast blared, "All freshmen, report to the classroom for the orientation meeting." Li Hao waved us over, and I walked along, planning my next move. The note said not to gather in groups of more than 3, or I'd be exposed. In class, I had to watch my behavior and make sure I didn't stand out too much. We reached the classroom, and as I sat down, I saw something unsettling. The monkey was in my class too. Before I could think, the counselor walked in. "I'm Gao Wen, your counselor. Welcome, everyone. Let's start with roll call. When I call your name, please stand up so we can all meet you." My heart sank. This wasn't an introduction, it was a public execution. After a few names, it was finally my turn. "Yan." "Here," I replied. I stood up, hoping to sit back down quickly, when a voice came from the corner. "Mr. Gao, Yan here is quite something. He already knows how to share things equally." Suddenly, the whole class turned to look at me with curiosity and judgment. I cursed Hoosie under my breath, but didn't dare look at him, just gave the counselor an awkward smile. Li Hao was about to step in, but the counselor tapped the podium to quiet the room, though his gaze felt off. "Roll call is over. Now let me explain the school rules. First, maintain a neat appearance. No disheveled clothing or bringing filth into this sanctuary of learning. Second, follow discipline. No shouting, horseplay, fighting, or eating in this area. Personal disputes and meals must be handled outside the teaching building. Third, respect your teachers. Follow all instructions from faculty without question. Fourth, there is a 10 p.m. curfew. Finally, classes start tomorrow. I expect your best behavior." As soon as he finished, the classroom erupted in complaints. They were annoyed that the week-long orientation had been cut down to just 1 day. I, however, memorized every rule, as each one felt deeply unsettling beneath the surface. Rule 2 implies that if I'm exposed in the teaching area, I have a window to escape since they can't attack there. But do the teachers who made these rules have to follow them too? I stopped thinking and headed back to the dorm with Li Hao, while the others went to the kitchen. After some chatter, everyone went to bed. Despite the excitement, we all stayed quiet and lay still. Soon it was 2 a.m. and footsteps began echoing in the hallway. I recalled the note and the counselor's rules. Stay silent and motionless during the dead of night. The door creaked open. Even with my eyes closed, I could feel a gaze sweeping across the room. He walked in, stood by my bed, and scribbled something in a notebook. Then silence. A second later, he leaned close to my face and exhaled, making my teeth chatter in terror. Only after the door clicked shut did I feel that presence finally fade away. Only when the footsteps faded down the hall did the others in the dorm finally let out a sigh of relief. Li Hao whispered, "Damn, that disciplinary committee member was seriously intense tonight."
The others chimed in while I silently took note of the term disciplinary committee.
I'd survived the first inspection by following the rules, but this strict system meant I'd only narrowly escaped. I drifted off to sleep, still feeling completely on edge. The next day, feeling anxious, I followed Li Hao into the classroom. I expected our first class to be something disturbing like food appreciation or anatomy, but it was just a basic camouflage course. Mr. Li introduced himself at the podium. I am your social behavior teacher. Let's begin our first lesson. He projected various images, tapping the whiteboard with his pointer as he explained every human facial expression. Suddenly, a student blurted out, "Why bother with all this? Why not just grab them and eat them?" Mr. Lee kept his fake smile, but his eyes turned icy. Foolish. Do I really need to explain the difference between short-term gains and long-term sustainability? Do you want to be wiped out like bugs? Do I have to teach you the difference between one full meal and a lifetime of them? He then asked, "What emotions should you show when meeting a friend?" Someone. Answer. I kept my head down to stay invisible, but the teacher's gaze locked onto me like a heat-seeking missile. "You there, student, you answer." I was about to stand up, but a chubby guy behind me awkwardly rose to his feet instead. I looked at the teacher, who didn't correct him, so I pretended not to notice and stayed seated. The guy stammered, "Just going out and then saying goodbye." He mumbled something about being happy, but he was so incoherent I couldn't tell what he was trying to say. I expected the teacher to tear him apart. Instead, Mr. Lee flashed across the room in an instant, slamming the guy's head onto the desk. With a loud thud, red liquid splattered all over his face. Yet the teacher's face remained fixed in that same standard smile. "You don't know? You're in university and you still don't know? Without basic observation, how can you investigate or blend into human society?" The room went deathly silent, followed by the sound of more heads hitting desks with blood spraying right before my eyes. I finally realized why there was no corporal punishment here. They didn't punish, they executed. Just as the guy was about to be crushed to death, Mr. Lee stopped, patted my shoulder, and spoke slowly. "Yan Yan, you stand up and answer.